So it's not about you. Tell me, how many I's are in your cover letter? Has anybody got a cover letter ready? Yeah? How many I's, me's, and my's are there in there?
Maybe 3 or 4. It's a short cover letter.
Good. 3 or 4. I like that. I see about 23 or 27 sometimes. And it's all about them. What's the purpose of a cover letter? There's only one.
Tell people why they want to hire you.
Get more clear.
Tell them why they should hire you over someone else.
Wrong. Sorry, it's not the answer I'm looking for. It's not that it's wrong. That's part of it for sure. Anybody else want to take a stab at that? There's one reason to create a cover letter. Please look at my resume. That's the only reason. How long do you think it takes for a recruiter to look at a cover letter and make a decision on whether or not to pursue the resume? You've heard recruiters scan the cover letters. How long do they give it?
5 seconds.
Close. And maybe some give it 5 to 7, but 3 is the general. So you really have to have that POW in your cover letter. However, that said, many of them don't look at it at all. They scan the resume. And if they're doing that, then you have to be careful, because if you don't submit a cover letter, they won't even look at your resume. These are the same people that don't even look at the cover letter, but if it doesn't come with the resume, then they won't look at the resume. And for every person hiring, there's a different way of doing things. So there's not one perfect resume, there's not one perfect cover letter. They're all different in what they want. And it has to be all about the company, all about the person you're trying to get a job from, the hiring person. What are they thinking? The more you can get inside their head, pretend you're the person hiring, and if you have your own business, I'm sure you have a better understanding of what that means. Sure, they'd love to know all about your thesis later, when they get to know you a little bit more, maybe after they've hired you. But right now, you've got to make it all about me and my needs and how you're going to fix the problem I have, because I must have a problem if I'm hiring. We'll get into that in a minute. So again, with the resume, you're going to see me do it one way, and perhaps at Career Services, they'll do it a different way. And I think, and it's just in my head and from what conversations I've had, the reason Career Services does it differently is because they have businesses that they work with here in Calgary, and businesses know that they can post their jobs on JobLink through Career Services. They then, those businesses, expect that students are going to be applying for those jobs. So they expect to see education at the top of a 2-page resume on the first page. And they don't think anything of it. They expect to see a GPA and maybe your thesis information on there. In industry, they don't. They want to make it all about them. And right now, we need to know, what skills do you have that are going to fix my problem? So they want skills on the first page, education after work history on the second. And what is the purpose of a resume? And again, there's only one. If you hand in a resume, what do you want? Mm-hmm. That's it. Please give me an interview. So these 2 pieces of paper, and possibly the cover letter with it, the third piece, that's trying to sell you. So you can understand that in informational interviews, where you're actually doing a lot of the work yourself, and definitely the one that promotes it and starts the whole process, and they get to see you in person before they ever see any papers. They get to know who you are, and that's really, really important. And you'll understand that better in the next workshop. So, to get the interview, you may have created your documents based on a job posting. And the funny thing is, and I did it too before I did my training, which was about 15 years ago. Maybe I say that all the time, so it's probably more like 17 years ago now. They rarely follow the posting. So they see the job posting and they think, oh, okay, now I'm just going to tell them everything about me and not reply to the posting. So on a job posting, it's generally set up, and not all of them are as good as others. A good one is set up giving you a little blurb about the company. Read that. Highlight really important things that are being repeated. The words team, the words communication. highlight that because you're going to find out how important it is by the number of times they use those words. Then they're going to tell you what the job would be like. If you got this job, these are your duties, okay? Then they're going to say, by the way, don't even worry about that because if you don't qualify for this job, then there's no point in you applying. So qualifications is the most important thing, and often it starts with what education they're looking for, followed by how many years experience, okay? So if you take that qualification section and you take your resume and it says you need a master's in this, and you've got it, you put on highlights of qualifications, master's in this. If it says afterwards so many years experience, you put on it how many years experience you have. You follow it to the T. They've given you the plan, and few people follow it. I don't know why, but they really appreciate it when you do. I worked at, I applied for a job. I did my practicum at Georgian College, and they invited me to apply for a job there. I did, and I followed their job posting to a T, and I found out afterwards that what they do is they sit somebody from HR down with the job posting, and then they sit another person from HR down with a pile of resumes. And they go through each resume, and every point that's on the job posting is critical. If you miss anything, you get put lower and lower and lower for an interview. So if you have every point on the job posting on your resume, you will get the first interview. So you can imagine how much they appreciate when you put your points in the same order because they're each ticking off, and it takes much less time. So it's very important to really follow that.